So they'll be on in a second.
Hi everyone, we'll just give it a few minutes, probably like till 12:05. That's when the usual time we start, and we'll see who else calls in. Thank you for calling in.
Hello.
Hello. Long time no see.
Indeed.
For those that are calling in now, I'm waiting like 3 or 4 more minutes just to see if we get up to our usual like 25 number of people, maybe less because we're going into the holiday. We'll find out. Cool. Couple more people. Just wait another minute and then we'll start our introductions. And I popped the agenda in the chat for anybody that didn't yet see it. It's pretty much the standard agenda. I'm practicing my Zoom skills, so there's a file. Okay, I think in the interest of time and keeping everybody on time, we can just get rolling with our meeting. I'd like to start by welcoming us and doing our land acknowledgement. I'm Melissa, I'm the co-op's general manager, and we have been trying to keep our land acknowledgement going even though we're not meeting in person because we're still meeting on this land. So we would like to acknowledge that this meeting is being held on the traditional lands of the Chumash people and pay our respects to elders both past and present. We honor the traditional territory as well as stories and contributions of the Chumash people to the land on which we gather and create. We really like starting our meeting like that, so thank you for that. And we'll move into introductions and quick announcements. As I said, I'm Melissa, I run the co-op. Quick announcement. On Saturday, it's our 48th annual co-op owner meeting. It is accessible via Zoom. It's also accessible by just calling on your phone. Lisa, our board president, is on the call. She might talk about it when she intros, but please attend this meeting. And even if you're not a co-op owner, you could attend just to hear all that we've been up to. There'll be an annual report from the board. I'll give an annual report. Obviously, lots has happened here since pre-COVID and then into COVID, and we're excited to share some of the co-op's impact that a bunch of you have actually been a part of. So thank you for that. I'll just go down the participant list now, starting with Jonathan.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jonathan with the Isla Vista Community Services District, General Manager.
Jonathan. How about Aknika? And I hope I pronounced your name properly.
Hi, yes, I am a reporter with the Daily Nexus, just kind of here to see what everyone's up to.
Thanks for letting us know that you're here with press. We appreciate that. Awesome. How about Derek?
Hi, everyone. My name is Derek Marzano. I'm on the community outreach team with the University Police Department.
Thanks, Derek. How about Diana? Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Diana Collins Puente. I serve as the Director of Community Affairs, Student Development, and Leadership, and I'm super excited to be back with you all. So, hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's like you weren't even gone, but you were. We missed you. Now you're back. Yay. Jonathan has asked a question in the chat about submitting a video for our co-op owner meeting. Maybe Lisa can answer it. I don't know if it's too late. I can't remember if we are done, if Jillian is still taking them. So that is something. Can move on to Elijah.
Hey everyone, it's Elijah with Cookies Cannabis Community Engagement. Only update is that we have submitted our application, so waiting on that, but still, as of conversations I've had with a lot of you, want to sort of continue this engagement throughout this process until we hear more information. So I'm still here as a resource if anyone wants to reach out, have a conversation about that. But still going to be attending these meetings for the time being, still staying part of this community. So nice to see you all still.
Thanks, Elijah. Congrats on getting the application in. That was crazy. We think there's 6 total applicants that went in, and it'll be interesting to see who gets chosen. So I think we hear back in a couple months or something. So we'll keep reporting back to the Ivcn also if we hear any updates from the county. How about Gary?
I'm sorry. Can I ask a quick question? Has the deadline on that completed? Like, is those the 6 applications? We know that that's what it will be.
Yeah, the deadline was last Monday, I think, right, Elijah? Not this past one.
Yeah, the 9th. So I guess 2 Mondays ago.
Yeah, I think we know the full list. I could write into the chat. I think we got all of the names. It wasn't a ton. There's not a ton of properties, but yeah. It'll be cool to see who gets chosen. What an interesting process. How about Gary for introductions?
Hello, thank you. Hello, everyone. Gary Gaston, UCSB Police Department Community Outreach. Currently, just yesterday, in fact, we did a safety presentation. We sold this program to the IDA and doing a briefing with all the sports and athletic teams on campus. And so we talk about issues like consent, safety in Isla Vista and Santa Barbara in general, some of the green dot stuff. We did a COVID-19 update, and then some of like the national optics on law enforcement and how to safely interact and stuff like that. We're also looking at re-upping our restorative justice. Some of you may know if you get a citation out in Isla Vista, for certain citations, you are able to go to a class rather than spend $300 or $400 out of your pocket for, say, an open container citation or something like that, which gives us an opportunity to do some interacting. And we had to stop it for the pandemic, but it looks like we're starting to work on reopening those doors and trying to figure out a safe way to do it during the pandemic. Because of the new COVID status, we may actually put that on hiatus for a little bit longer. I suspect. I just haven't gotten a word yet, but I'm pretty sure we'll do it. But it may be 2 weeks to a month out, depending upon how things go. We just came off the Special Olympics torch run. It was fabulous. The new chief, Chief Yao, showed up. Apparently, he used to run the torch himself out in the Berkeley, where he was at previously, and so we were happy to do that. Approximately 5 miles through Isla Vista, and just trying to raise awareness for Special Olympics via the torch run. And then lastly, CSOs are back, about 10 or so that are currently out working the safety tables, the IVCSD safety tables in the business loop area at Trigo, and so forth. So thank you very much, Melissa.
Thanks, Gary. That was awesome. Thank you for the update. I'm so glad the torch run was inspiring and fun. We need more of that right now, so yay. How about Gina?
Hi, folks. How's everybody doing? I'm sure most of you, all of you know the county has been put back, as most counties, 50 counties in California have, in the purple tier because cases are accelerating at a pretty dramatic rate throughout the state. And so that's where we are with that. The Board of Supervisors, the Public Health on Tuesday did a presentation about what that means for businesses, but businesses that have been registered should be, the RISE ambassadors will be in contact with them. One of the main things is that it's outdoor dining only now. No indoor dining is allowed. And to be clear to the state, I think up to this point had guidance for how like 3 families could essentially gather, like people, with limits and stuff, but our county never adopted that. We were more strict than that. So gatherings are still prohibited in our county. The pallet bill is moving forward. And Good Sam got officially received the contract from the Board of Supervisors on Tuesday. And so they're having a launch meeting, I think, tomorrow morning for the service provider. So it's really exciting. And then I'll just mention 2 things. This is for law enforcement. I have not yet had a chance to reach out to Lieutenant Camarena. This is for, I guess, two parts to this. Is I've gotten half a dozen calls and emails this week alone from women in Isla Vista who are terrified of going outside at night because of houseless people who seem to be severely inebriated and or intoxicated. Multiple specific examples of harassment, terrifying harassment, whether it's out on the beach or just walking down the street. And so I plan to talk to the lieutenant about that. And my recommendation always to anybody who ever feels that their personal safety is being threatened is to call 911. So I think that calls for service for that are probably pretty underreported. And then the second thing I'm scanning through to see if there's anybody, like, I doubt Margaret's on, from administration at UCSB. I'll reach out to the Greek affairs, but I've gotten calls about Sigma Chi and ATO having really excessive noise during the day, not just at night when there's very clear parameters about noise. So I'll talk to Justin and Lieutenant Camarena, but I think that's something maybe it'd be helpful if UCSB could reach out, in particular with this like really excessive noise. Students who are trying, they have to do remote learning, trying to do their classes, and they can't do their classwork and they can't go anywhere. They have to be at home to take those classes. So
Gina,
that those 2.
Sorry, what were the 2 houses again?
Sigma Chi and ATO. So I've got 755 Embarcadero del Norte, and I haven't followed up to clarify. And I think over our COVID response group, Jonathan helped us clarify the addresses for both. But and then I looked at, of course, the sheriff's logs that are shared with the COVID response group, and there have been a number in October, at least. There were a number of noise violations, calls for service reported to both UCSB and the sheriffs for those 2 particular houses. And that in the beginning, in early October, it was gatherings and noise. The calls I've gotten are actually, it's not a lot of people out there. There's like 5 residents, so it's not a COVID sort of related thing, but that like it's not like they're having big gatherings, which is good, but the music is just, from what I've heard from the calls I've gotten, is just like unbearable, especially for folks who are trying to do remote learning. So should I follow up, Gary? Should we get offline? Can I follow up with you about that?
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to get a little more information on that. And then I'm actually texting Justin right now just to see if he's aware of it already and see if there's anything being done in the house with the sheriffs.
The particular student who called said that they did try to report it with, I don't know specifically, but with student affairs, and their response was, oh, well, we don't know who lives in the Greek houses and there's nothing we can do. So I wanted to try to see if we can help remedy the situation positively.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like they just need to connect the dots a little better, so we could
Yeah.
probably help with that. Thank you.
I think that's it. Are there any other questions? Any questions about COVID, anything like that? County stuff, the Pallet Village?
I have a question, Gina. Just confirming it's 15 or less. I'm sorry if I cut anyone off. It's 15 or less at a gathering right now. Is that what they rolled it back to
It's zero
for
in this
Thanksgiving?
county, Barbara. No gatherings with people outside of your house.
Okay, but there wasn't a, I meant specifically for people living in the house. They didn't have anything mentioned on that.
Yeah, I mean, if 15 people live in one house together, like obviously they can all gather. That's
Okay,
what
thank
makes it
you.
hard to be.
Yeah, and that's what makes it hard on the sorority and fraternity houses is you go
Exactly.
there and they're like, yeah, there's 28 of us that live here, and there's
Yeah.
one guy visiting or whatever, and okay.
I
Thank
don't
you.
know if others have experience. My understanding is I think there was a party on DP this weekend. I don't have any follow-up details. I only heard it from Kirsten over the COVID response, but my understanding is that gatherings, large gatherings have by and large, and especially the frats and sororities I haven't heard any complaints or reports for the most part in the last 2 weeks. So I don't know if anybody else can vouch for that.
I've been out here.
It was this last weekend. I personally heard it was pretty loud. And Lieutenant Camarena, when I saw him on Monday, said that it was, it went back up this weekend.
Okay.
I noticed that personally too.
And I will say, I don't, the testing and everything comes through, but the IV had a tremendous drop in positive cases. And I think that is something everyone should be commended for too. Like it feels like people, at least it's on a right path, at least right now at this moment, where lots of other parts of the county are not. So I'll follow up with the lieutenant. Anything else? Any questions?
I have one question. I had a shopper come in this morning. She was biking by the Sueño Orchard and noticed people in hazmat suits or something clearing out things, and she was concerned or just wondering I talked about the pallet. I wasn't sure what that corresponded to in conjunction with the pallet project, and so I don't know if there's anything specific that you know about happening.
That we have until tomorrow. So those folks have been everybody but one person. Let me find Lucille's. So that was because of the fire marshal order.
Okay.
And I believe everybody has at least temporary something, except for one individual is the report I last read.
Okay.
So
I told her that I thought it was fire marshal related because I remember reading about that. Okay.
Related, yeah. Lucille. Okay, I can read this update. So CityNet has reported that all but one resident at Sueño Orchard and all residents at the Del Sol vernal pool were relocated as of this past Monday. Storage, 3 containers will be delivered to the Ivcn Park District parking lot at Perfect Park on Wednesday for temporary emergency, across from the temporary emergency shelter site. Our RPD will be able to store essential items that do not pose operational and or health or safety hazards or risk to workers. And they and their council, the Parks District and their council we're working on the specific language, everything about what storage and how that all will work. IVCSD, thanks Jonathan, was able to access 7 moving carts, and Home for Good can help coordinate the use of these carts for the relocation needs of their remaining residents. Wednesday, Friday from 12:30 to 2:30. If alternate shelter options are not available, residents can temporarily relocate to People's Park. The Rec and Park District will be delineating 12 by 12 zones on the lawn. The County Board of Supervisors approved the sub-recipient grant to Good Sam on Tuesday, as I said, so that we're all good on that part. The county received a waiver for the temporary housing shelter from the Coastal Commission because the loop, the park, that's in the coastal zone, so that's great. And the Ivy Rec and Park District is going to have a special board meeting tonight to make sure that everything's good about them temporarily using their parking lot. So these are the intermediate steps. So that's where we are. And Ash, it looks like I saw quickly in the comment, it looks like Ash may have something more to add about his experience being in the parks in this project right now.
Ash, do you want to introduce yourself and do an update? We're in intros, but we're just flowing with intros/announcements. So
Sorry,
no, you're doing great.
Because I just done late.
Don't worry about it. You're great. This is why Ivcn is special, because we flow and we make it all work. And so now Ash could go if they want to, because they start with A, so it works.
So, all right.
Okay.
Any other questions for the 3rd district?
I was just going to jump in, Gina. Thanks for the update about the 2 houses in Ivy. I just wanted to say if the student wants to get in contact with the Dean of Students office, definitely happy to chat with them and see if there's any other information.
Specifically should I?
Well, you know, I'm happy to give my information, but I'm not kind of the universal person. And so why don't I send you my info? And we can go from there. Also, all reports are definitely looked into. So this is one I want to just make sure that we check in on.
Yeah, I think, and this in particular, because it's the trickier thing is during the day, there's like a trickier process when there is noise ordinance during the day, meaning you can't like just blow out your neighbors anywhere in the county, even though it's not like noise. When you say noise ordinance in IV, people think about the 10 p.m. in the midnight. But it's a little more of an onerous follow-up process if during the day, because the residents who are making the noise, it has to be brought to their attention, even though it might be obvious that they're disrupting the peace for other people. And then I think sometimes, it's been a while since I've had to look this up, that the reporting party may have to be willing to sign a warrant if it's a report during the day. So that's what I need to follow up with the lieutenant about. But this particular student was like, I think her exact words were, oh, what did she say? She said something funny. She said, I'm extra and I would be willing to do that because it's just that bad.
If I could tag in on that, that's basically you're doing a citizen's arrest for disturbing the peace. And so as police officers, we can't have our peace disturbed per se. So we can go in there and it'd be inappropriate for us to just go, I find that kind of loud while on duty, and walk in and cite someone for disturbing the peace. Someone has to be a victim of the crime, willing to sign. Otherwise, we're doing a public assist function of just saying, hey, your neighbors are complaining, and we're just conveying information. We probably wouldn't even take their information, but the DA's office does. I wouldn't say so much as require it, but it's definitely something that is recommended highly in order to make the arrest go through in court. That is to give them a warning first. If they don't have a documented history of warnings, giving no warnings and citing for that, it'll usually get it kicked out of court, and then it's a waste of everyone's time. So just some context on that.
Oh, Gina, I think you're muted.
Thank you. That refreshes my memory about the difficulty of that process. Thanks, Gary. Okay, Kim, I'll look forward to your email and I'll get you in touch with this particular student.
Perfect. That sounds great. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Gina, the district? We're still in introduction, so you're not off the intro hot seat. I'm going down the list. Okay, next up for intros is Justin.
Hey everybody, Justin Schroeder with the Sheriff's Department, Isla Vista Community Resource Deputy. Available for questions, I'll just address the large parties this weekend. There certainly was an uptick. We had 2 parties with an estimated 100 plus people at them, which is definitely different than it was before. And so both of those parties were issued citations for being a nuisance party, along with numerous other alcohol related violations. I've been in touch with both property managers, and so hopefully we work that angle to get that shut down. So unfortunately, I did see an uptick in the partying this weekend, but hopefully that was just a fluke. Any other questions? I'm here.
Hey, Justin, who were the property managers?
One was Playa Life, and one is just a privately owned house.
Were they both DP? Were they on DP?
One was DP, one was Camino Lindo.
And can you talk about, I don't know if you can or not, for Playa Life, what has the reception been with your contact with the owners there, the property managers?
Fly Life is great. They usually call me and get further details on the incident. I'll give them pictures, and they issue eviction notices right away. They contact all the guarantors, the parents, and everything, and it's usually a pretty good response from them. The house on Camino Lindo, the private owner, is not. He's one of mine that isn't real receptive. He kind of says thank you for the info, and it sort of ends there. So I'm trying to push him a little harder, but I haven't got a lot back from him.
Justin, it's Jackie. Can I ask a question? I don't know how many of the residents might be UCSB or City College students, but is there a way for us to offer your officers information about the services that are ongoing both at UCSB and City College, so that, you know, even I'm not saying it changes the outcome, but can we make sure that they're aware that there's ongoing services, even though, you know, things are different now? Is there a way for me to communicate that?
Yeah, we can talk offline and figure out a way to go ahead and do that. In these circumstances, only one person was a SBCC student. None were UCSB in these two parties. And I was in touch with Christopher Johnson over at SBCC about that one student.
Great. Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Any other questions for Justin while we change our format so that now Ivcn is introductions with all of our updates, popcorn style, peppering. This is great. Okay, next on the list actually is Jackie for intros. You want to intro yourself?
Hello, Jackie Curta, UCSB Alcohol and Drug Counseling Education Program.
Thanks for calling.
No updates.
Great. And how about Jay?
Hello, my name is Jay Freeman. I'm on the board of the Isla Vista Community Services District and the Local Agency Information Commission. I am not representing either of those interests here today. I'm here in my own capacity. One project that I've been working on and off for years now, usually off, even recently usually off, but occasionally on, has been deploying mesh internet in various places in Isla Vista. Particularly recently, I'm actually getting it arranged around the community center in coordination with the community service district, and bridging from my office through across the community center through to the community service district office. I've now received a number of somewhat separate requests for more deployment, as well as more interest generally, and I've finally gotten around to setting up a meeting. So on Monday, this is coming Monday, November 23rd at noon, I'm going to be doing a presentation on the work that I had done so far and what the opportunities are for quick expansions, the things that were pending that I hadn't gotten around to, what organizations who are interested in deploying internet at their locations need to know, and also some of the downsides and trade-offs related to this sort of thing that sometimes get either swept under the rug because no one really feel like we need to think about them, or are actually overblown, and then I get concerns about them, like what happens if this happens. I'm going to go over all of that information on Monday, and then we can have a discussion and talk about any next steps that any groups would be interested in doing relating to more deployment. So if you're interested in that meeting, I am putting into the chat the time, the Zoom link, and the name of the meeting. You're welcome to show up. It will also be recorded for people who they want to see that presentation later, or then catch up on the discussion, and I can have meetings with them separately after that point. Thank you.
Will this be like the episode of Park and Rec where they got free internet for their community? No, I'm just kidding.
I've seen that episode, but it was a long time ago. I don't remember. Given how hilarious all of those are, it might actually be that hilarious. There are a lot of things that people should understand. Like there's some assumptions of what things are tied together with other things. Sometimes people assume that like internet will just like appear in an area, and it's like you actually have to have internet in an area. And actually, that's one of the nice things that the Isla Vista Tenants Union has been offering, to provide internet temporarily in a few locations using hotspots, and then that kind of bridges into the whole mesh discussion. And so I think there's a lot of opportunity, like really quickly, in order to do some expansion that some of it I just hadn't gotten around to months ago, and this is a matter of handing people hardware, and now some of it's because of the tenants union being willing to do some infrastructure deployments. So
awesome. It's such a cool project. Thank you. And yeah, thank you for putting the meeting information in the chat. I'm hoping to attend, and I know there's a nice laundry list of folks excited to learn more about what you're cooking up. Thanks, Jay. Where are we on the list? How about Kim?
Hi, everyone. Kim Equinoa from the Dean of Students Office at UCSB.
Kim. And Lisa Osborne.
Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Osborne with KCSB News. Just a quick announcement. Our KCSB COVID-19 newsletter, Saturday edition, is now available to community members. It's been going out to our staff and to all students for a while, and now we're making it available. If you want to sign up to receive it, you can do it at that web link at kcsb.org. Just scroll all the way down. Thanks. Great to see you all.
Thanks, Lisa. I skipped right over Leonor. Sorry about that. Your name popped in. Hi, Leonor.
Hi everyone. So again, I think I mentioned at the last meeting, we have a Lights, Love, and Community kind of Light Up Isla Vista throughout December, starting on December 4th in partnership with Ivcn and UCSB's Ivcn. So it'll be the youth center, some trees outside our building, the barn, and different lighting in Estero Park, and then Ivcn office as well. Luis could also maybe talk a little bit more about it, but that should be throughout all of December. So you could walk by or drive by and see all the lights going up throughout December. And then Tuesday, we have our normal food distribution, but we're working with Hermanos Unidos from UCSB, who's going to give out Thanksgiving food baskets. So usually they have a really big event that I think they bring in 150 to 200 families that come for a Thanksgiving meal. Of course, we can't do that this year, so they're going to create Thanksgiving baskets that we'll give out at our free food distribution on Tuesday. And I think that's it.
Thanks, Leonor. That's awesome. Are they still taking families for that? Like, do you guys have it? Is it pre-arranged, or can they still add more?
I can ask them.
Just curious.
Yeah, typically we see about 60 people that come. Actually, within 45 minutes, we're out of food. So that's about 60. We did actually, I should say, we did get some funding and support from IVCSD, so we can purchase more food and to support the food distribution. So we'll be able to order more and definitely support more people.
Awesome. Thank you. Lisa Oglesby. Oh, sorry.
Can I just jump in for a sec, Leonor? You might have wanted to mention the recruitment, or maybe not. I just wanted.
Sure, actually, thank you. So we, I don't know how many of you have met Isis. She was our project coordinator for the Drug-Free Communities Grant and the Isla Vista Coalition for Healthy Communities 805. And she's leaving her position. So we had opened up the position and had some candidates, but I'm looking at opening it back up. So I just wanted to let you all know if you have people that might be interested in a full-time project coordinator position that would be leading the coalition efforts, I can send the link to the job posting. I'll send that out to everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Jackie.
Thanks, you guys. That's great. That's a great opportunity for someone. Lisa Oglesby.
Hi, everyone. Lisa Oglesby, Isla Vista Food Co-op Board of Directors President. Like Melissa mentioned, our annual owner meeting is this Saturday at 4 p.m. It's going to be over Zoom. You can come on your computer. You can call in over the phone. The information is up on the Co-op Facebook page, Co-op webpage, Co-op Instagrams. It's pretty easy to find. I did come across something that I thought this group might be interested in. I get regular email updates from Sansom, and Dr. Fitzgibbons just posted this 20-minute video to help people understand how COVID is affecting our county with this sort of sudden move into the purple tier. It's about a 20-minute video, but it's pretty helpful in terms of understanding the dashboards that are going on and some of the recent changes and what we're dealing with. So I'm going to put that in the chat in case anybody else is interested.
Thank you, Lisa. That's awesome. Lori.
Hi, I will open my camera. Keep moving around, so my camera's off. I'm Lori Goodman. I'm the Executive Director of I Love Us Youth Projects. Since everyone's doing announcements, I just want to remind people that we are continuing to do food distribution twice a month by appointment only. And so that today is the day that we're doing that. And then in addition to that, at our Children's Center, we've been partnering with UCSB to provide fully prepared meals to the community. So anyone who wants to come, we're giving them in sort of 4-packs. So it's meals for a family that they can take home and heat up. And they can pick that up around 3 every day that we're open. So today, tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, and then through to the end of the quarter. We are doing immigration webinars, and I believe on Friday we have one. Those are in Spanish, sharing information with the community about their rights, any new updates. We partner with Immigrant Hope to deliver that information to the community. And you know, like all of you, we are just in flux with opening and closing. Our Children's Center is open and will continue to be open. Our work at Isla Vista School and other schools in the Goleta School District, we were on track to be in person in January. I don't know where that will be. So, you know, just care for one another because it's super stressful.
I think regarding schools, I think Dr. Vondo Reynoso said where we're at least today, schools that are already open are not required to close, but for schools, I don't know exactly for schools that had planned to open where they fall, because there's always so much at play in this.
Right. Goleta had decided to reopen on January 11th. They have an emergency board meeting on the 2nd of December. And we all know you plan today based on what it looks like today for something that's in 6 weeks or 2 months from now. And in 2 months, things look different. So this is an impossible time.
Planning is very, very hard right now. And I think everybody on this call probably can attest to how difficult this has been to try to look ahead when things just change every single day. So definitely for everybody doing child care providing, especially hats off to you for that, because the logistics, I'm sure, for trying to figure out how to be safe with so much unknown is like above and beyond. Thank you for the update. How about Luis?
Hi, Luis Valerio, Recreation Coordinator for the Isla Vista Recreation Park District. We do have a special board meeting tonight at 5:30. You can find the board meeting information on our website, ivyparks.org. Like Leonor mentioned, on December 4th, we'll be hosting, we'll be lighting up Estero Park with some real nice holiday lights, Christmas lights on the teen center, the Red Barn, and also a real beautiful cypress tree that is located at the park. We'll be also lighting up the bike path as well. So if you want to come by, whether you're driving by, walking by, we're also going to try to do some sort of live stream as well. So for those who don't feel comfortable coming out, you can still see it in person, and the lights will be up for a month. Our office will also be lit up, as well as the Little Acorn fence line and 4 of the trees at Little Acorn Park. The trunks and branches will be wrapped in some lights. So we'll be lighting up different parks here in Ivy, so for the holidays. So definitely after December 4th to January 4th, feel free to go out, take pictures. Should be real nice.
I love that we're lighting up the parks for the holidays. That's like a wonderful, and maybe we'll just really inspire this to happen always, because it's going to add so much festive, and it shows that people care, and those little lights just really add so much. And I'm wondering, as the co-op is the neighbor to Park and Rec, we would love to also put lights up. So if you have a good source for your lights, or if you want to help me match your lights, just let me know. I'll order lights and we can get them installed also.
Yeah, I'll send you an email about our vendor.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, Luis. How about Omari?
Hello, everyone. Omari Pryor, UCSB's Alcohol and Drug Program.
Thank you, Omari. Rodney.
Hello, everybody. I'm Rodney Gould from the Associated Students. I'm the Isla Vista Community Advisor. Just a couple of little things. One is Isla Vista Attendance Union is working with Jay and IVRPD and putting Wi-Fi into the parks. Also, Isla Vista Attendance Union is working on trying to get partnering with the food co-op and basic needs to do food deliveries to people who are in quarantine or positive, or to help out with delivery fees for those food things as well. So just a couple things going on there.
Thanks, Rodney. You just reminded me that I really haven't replied to that email yet. Thank you. Sorry. I will reply to that email next. Thank you. Spencer.
Hi, everyone. Spencer Brandt, president of the Isla Vista Community Services District, and no updates today. Thanks.
How about Tori?
Hi, everybody. My name is Tori Saunders. I'm a police officer at UC Santa Barbara's Police Department, and I'm currently assigned to the community outreach team. I have no updates that my partners haven't already updated y'all on.
Thanks, Tori. Last but not least, unless we missed somebody in the intros, Viviana.
Hi, everybody. Viviana Marzano, Civic and Community Engagement. The announcement is that there is a growing concern in student affairs about the low numbers of students that are coming to the testing centers and testing for COVID. So it is mandatory for students who live in housing, graduate students, or students who work on campus or have classes on campus to go and be tested every week. But the rest of the students are not. So we are trying to start a conversation about how we can all cooperate on that. And I have a meeting with Spencer and Jonathan Abud on Tuesday to start the conversation there. And then once we have a feeling of what, some ideas will probably engage all of you. And I know that Greek Life is starting to implement a plan to get fraternities and sororities to get tested. It's nothing official, so I will share when I know more, maybe next week or the next meeting.
Thanks, Viviana. Okay, it's 12:42, and we did kind of like a great mashup of intro plus agenda items. So I just want to bring us back to the agenda and just ask if there's any further updates from any entities that we didn't get to go through already. I know we don't have an AS report today. Jonathan, did you want to mention the STEP grant at all? Or Spencer, maybe, or anybody from CSG?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're really excited to announce that we've been awarded the State Transportation Equity Planning Grant, which is going to allow for a transportation equity plan for Isla Vista. So big thanks to the state for that, and to MTD. SBMTD was a big help on that application, and a big shout out to Jonathan for all the work he put into getting that ready. We're really excited about it.
Diana, go for it.
Just wondering, Spencer, would you mind saying more about what that grant is going to go towards? Is it a planning around transportation in IV?
Yes, that's right. So it's a transportation equity plan. Jonathan, do you want to offer more on the details?
Yeah, sorry, I had to step away to get a phone call about a community center issue. Tables have been lost by the elections. But but the STEP grant is, the goal of the STEP grant is to produce a community mobility plan for Isla Vista that's focused on equity and transportation. So the money, most of the money is going to go to three things. One is hiring community organizations to do community outreach. It's a big factor. Another one is to pay a consultant to write the, plan at the end of it, because I don't think any of us know how to do that. And the last thing is to do like pop-up demonstrations of these different transportation options to let people test them out. There's some other things the grant will go to, obviously, but those are the main activities, is to do a lot of outreach, to do pop-up demonstrations, and then to write the plan based on the results of those first two.
It is very exciting for Isla Vista, and it happened very quickly. So it's nice that it was able to go through and get approved.
It did.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Thank you to Ivy Youth Projects and the Food Co-op for being, IVYP is a partner and Co-op is a community, or no, sub-applicant is IVYP, Co-op's a partner. And we've brought in a lot of other groups that don't do a lot in Isla Vista that much usually. They're now more part of it. So hopefully getting in their resources and expertise from around the county. So it's going to be really great, but it won't start until summer. So we won't even have access to the money until spring.
Okay, there's other projects on deck first. Maybe it's okay. Awesome. Any other updates that we did not get through? Jay, were you about to ask a question? I saw a hand.
Yeah, so this actually might be what Jonathan was on the phone about. I'm curious about the status of the community center currently does not have power.
Oh, no, I was on the phone because the county elections from the voting center thought they lost tables, and I told them they didn't.
Does anyone, maybe the county who's on the call, know something about the community center not having power? I'm pretty certain it still does not have power as of right now, but.
Yeah.
Oh, Jonathan, do you know anything?
Yeah, Jay, the power was turned off. So it has like power access, but I was told that they turned off the power for the building before the walkthrough for the Pallet Village on Monday. So I asked.
I knew that part, but I was wondering if there was anyone knew if the power was going to come back. Or
yeah, I sent an email about it. I haven't heard back yet.
One actually update I guess I have on that. Louise is on the call, but it was something actually I heard from Louise yesterday, because I mentioned this, and I guess there's been a lot more demand for the Parks District's solar table in the last few days, which probably is due to people who were using power at the community center who are now trying to find power elsewhere in order to charge their devices.
Yeah, Jay, I'll add to that. I've heard those concerns, and I think it's also because we're now in the purple tier. Many people who are using power in indoor restaurants now are not able to do that anymore. So I would second, I hope that the power does get turned back on.
Thank you, guys. I see a couple comments in the chat. Ash asked a question about, are these being ticketed and towed? So I'm not sure if anybody on the call can answer that question.
There's an oversized, for like the last 8 years or so, there's an oversized vehicle overnight oversized vehicle parking ban in IV. So oversized vehicles can park during the day, but they cannot park on public streets overnight. And so if they are there overnight and someone calls to report or law enforcement sees it, and then if there are other violations like registration or whatnot, then that would be unfortunately grounds for towing. But there are signs on the west end, signs at the main entrance into IV and whatnot.
Yeah, I guess I was just wondering why now? Why it all happened yesterday without any notice? Some people had their homes taken away.
Ash, this is Deputy Schroeder here. I guess it happened because I came in early to work yesterday, and it just wasn't getting done. And so I took it upon myself to come in early and enforce the posted law there. And so no rhyme or reason other than I was covering for patrol and had some time on my hands.
Thank you,
Justin,
Justin.
can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Because I know I'm also concerned. I mean, you know, it seems like I know there are parts of Isla Vista where there are people who are living in their vehicles, and you know, we're in the midst of a enormous recession and all sorts of other calamities right now. I mean, can you elaborate more? Is it really there is no rhyme or reason for why we decided to tow?
Well, thanks, Spencer. I get on a weekly basis probably a dozen or so, sometimes as low as 5, sometimes as many as 20 in a week, complaints about large vehicles parked in Isla Vista. And the county decided that they were going to enact that ordinance for no parking of large vehicles from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and that it was a citable offense to do that. And so over the course of that ordinance, we've issued numerous warnings. You probably see the green stickers on the windows saying you're in violation. And so we've tried that. I've knocked on all of the doors during the daytime, but obviously I cannot enforce that ordinance during the daytime. And our staff has just been too busy with calls for service and parties to do any actual enforcement of that ordinance. And so I respond to those citizens that complain saying, we're trying. I tell the deputies, I let them know about the violations, but we're just not able to get to them. And so I got so many complaints about it last week that I took it upon myself to come in early and do it myself. And so it just happened to coordinate that I was covered patrol. And like I said, between 6 and 7 was slow for me. And so I went out and responded to those complaints, the citizen complaints.
Jackie?
Yeah, so Justin, I'm wondering if, I'm sure you're aware of the safe parking program that exists for people in oversized vehicles. Are you familiar with that program that New Beginnings operates?
Oh, yes. Those flyers have been placed on those vehicles for months. We usually put them on there once a week.
Okay. If you feel like you need any additional support, I'm connected to New Beginnings. I can try to, get you some more support to help connect with these people if they feel like the safe parking program might be something that they could utilize. So just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I've spoken with almost all of them over the course of the past few months, and the ones that are remaining just they just absolutely refuse to cooperate in any way. And so that's why we can only do the warnings and the stickers so many times before people get upset. We actually have to take enforcement action.
Is there anyone from, I don't know, and I'm looking, I guess CityNet and our homeless outreach team isn't on the call. I don't know if anyone can speak to whether or not the homeless outreach workers, either from the county, Be Well, or CityNet, were engaged at all in the process.
Maybe you didn't hear a question. Justin, did you hear the question from Spencer?
I didn't. I'm sorry. I thought he was asking a question if CityNet was involved with that. I thought he was asking them what their involvement was.
Well, I'm just curious if anyone has any information about that. Do you know if they were involved? Were they able to speak with any of the folks who maybe you weren't having success with? Just because I know sometimes they're able to reason with folks and help avoid conflicts like that.
Yeah, I go around with CityNet routinely, and I'm forgetting the name of the two ladies that I go with to contact these folks. But yes, we're in contact all the time, and they contact all these people as well. And the people that are left are just the ones, like I said, who are refusing to move and refusing to get any of those services.
Thanks, Justin. Any other questions or comments about this topic? Not an easy topic of conversation, and I think this is going to sound like a very strange analogy, but we are dealing with similar. It's not about housing, but just business as usual and looking at COVID and its impacts on humans and how we've all been just getting through the last 6 months. And I'm sure, I don't know if any of the other business people are on the call, but considerations that we've made to help support our workers through the last 6 months, but also really having to like run the business and keep our workers on that level of accountability and making sure that even though people are tired, trying to get back to the program of making sure we're doing things in legal compliance for HR and making sure that people are coming on time to work, stuff that on the outset feels really not relevant because we're in this pandemic and everybody is so tired. And so trying to find these pathways to kind of get things not normal because we're not in a state of normal, but going to some of the tenets of what it takes to do our work well, which includes what it takes to be in healthy community building and people being able to kind of follow these guidelines that we set out. Obviously, it's different. We're in the co-op. We have our policies that we are working with, and we want to make sure our workers are adhering. And that kind of is an interesting, like resonates for me from within our small business all the way out into our community and then beyond, you know, how we're navigating this while people are tired, and it's a different course of action. But yeah, anyway.
Can I add, I gotta jump off, I got another call, but I got confirmation that Safe Parking, the program, they're funded by the count, a lot of their funding comes from the county. They have had individual caseworkers make contact, as Justin said. I think they go with Justin, but just to double confirm, the Safe Parking outreach people in particular have made contact with the RVs in Isla Vista. And there are, the last I heard, there are spaces, there are parking spaces within Ivy that are not utilized right now. That's the last report I heard a couple weeks ago.
Thanks, Gina. We have a few minutes left. Is there any other things that anybody would like to talk about? We have some people peeling off the call. We can definitely continue to reference our houseless community. Obviously, there's some big stuff in the works right now, so it feels like an important topic to just keep, you know, every couple of weeks to keep refreshing about, so we can be all on the same level of knowledge. But if there's nothing else left, we can end 4 minutes early and jump into the rest of Thursday. I think the sun's coming out maybe a little bit. Thank you all for taking the time to call in. As usual, this is every 2 weeks. If you have something you want to talk about or make sure that we present to the group, just shoot an email to ilavistacommunitynetwork@gmail.com. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay, bye. Bye. Bye.